Thank you for joining me. I'm Juan, lead trader and founder of Prosperity Trade. SHIB is back at it. It cannot stay out the news. So we want to take a look at SHIB, see what's new rumors, a little bit of compare and contrast to Doge, and a little bit of technical analysis. You're going to want to watch this video. So on our last video, we discussed SHIB, 1 quadrillion coins, how was Ryoshi, they donated 50% to Ethereum. We talked about their projects. They have Leash, and Leash is their specialized token. There's only 107,000 tokens circulating. So I believe they want this to be like their Bitcoin. This is that special. This is going to be their big boy, and it's going to come with incentives and lucrative rewards for people holding this coin. This coin right now is currently trading at $2,100, just under $2,200, and it hit a high of over $3,000. So this has the potential, if there's hype, if there's rumors for this, if there's some sort of catalyst, to spike up extremely high because of the small amount of tokens that are circulating. Then they have Bone, which gives you the right to vote on certain proposals, and it only has 250 million tokens circulating. That's a lot less than Doge, which has about 130 billion circulating. So it'll be less than Doge, less than SHIB, and more than Leash. It'll be right in the middle, and that has the potential also of spiking. They're trading at $2.20. They also discuss how to buy their token. And this has changed drastically. When SHIB first came out, a couple of their biggest criticism was that it was so difficult to buy SHIB, number one. The second criticism is that when you sell it, they take a certain amount of your tokens and give it to the people that held and keep a certain amount for themselves, because they were trying to hype it up and they were trying to say they wanted you to hold it to the moon. Since then, they've done quite a lot to market themselves well. They push themselves as SHIB Army. They're very active on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on all platforms. And they also started SHIB Swap. So on SHIB Swap, you have the option to dig. There are a ton of bones underground, and they're trying to provide liquidity to earn bones. They're going to do NFTs and have 10,000 NFTs on their SHIB Swap available to trade. Bury. You can bury your token and stake your tokens to gain returns. Swap, tell your SHIBA INU to fetch new tokens and swatch for other tokens. So they're very active online. They're making this very interactive. And comparing that with Doge, if we go on Doge website and we look at the purpose of Doge, basically they're saying that you can send 1,000 Doge and it'll be received instantly. And that's basically what they're pushing. I mean, that's not the most dramatic thing ever. I mean, we can do that on PayPal. We can transfer money on Cash App. There's a lot of means to transfer money instantly nowadays. So again, SHIB is really taking advantage of anything that's going to help their marketing, their brand. And I believe that's why they chose NFTs, because NFTs are so popular. So if we look at their market cap right now, SHIB is in the top 20. A couple of days ago, they were in the top 13, I believe. But if we scroll and put them in volume, it's in 6th place in regards to the amount of volume that's being traded. So what's the major rumor? It's the Robinhood rumor. Now there's a date, the date of October 30th. I'm not sure where this date came from. It hasn't been verified by Robinhood, but that is the date that's circulating, and there's nothing to confirm it. The only thing that we do have to confirm is this petition here, which close to 250,000 people have already signed it. So I don't see why Robinhood wouldn't take advantage of SHIB. If we take a look here at this article, it says Robinhood says that Doge massively boosted Q2 revenues, accounting for 62% of crypto revenue. So this was when Doge was at its peak of hype. Doge made up for 62% of Robinhood's revenue in Q2. So Doge and SHIB are going down the same path as far as they were dormant for a while, then the hype began, and the hype continues. There's so many altcoins. There's so many altcoins that get hype for one day and don't make it, and then we never hear about them again, or they get a little bit hype and there's hype in them for a few days, few months, it's traded, and then they die out and we don't hear about it ever again. But very few get this far where Doge got and where SHIB is heading right at that path. Now, the one of the biggest differences when Doge first came out, you see where they were trading, there was only 3 zeros on Doge. So the path to get to a penny was not nearly as far as it was for SHIB. But if we look at this chart here, we see that in August 1st, 2020, SHIB started off with 9 zeros, then 11, 7, 5. So now they're down to 4 zeros. So they're slowly gaining traction. And when they break this zero, then they'll be where Doge first started. So there's that potential. Now, one big difference is if we look at the shares circulating, 131 billion tokens are circulating for Doge. Compare that to SHIB, they have 394 trillion tokens circulating. Now, let's make some assumptions. Let's say that these shares circulating are cut in half for SHIB because they say they're going to burn. Now let's multiply this 197 trillion times 1 penny to see what the market cap would be. So the market cap would get to 1 trillion, almost $2 trillion. So it'll be cheaper than Apple, I guess, but it's still a major number to get to. If we compare that to Bitcoin, Bitcoin's market cap is $1 trillion. The market cap has to beat Bitcoin. That's assuming that they burnt half of their token supply, coin supply, which they're not talking about burning half. They're talking about burning a few million here and there over time. But that's how difficult it would be. So times 2, though, back to its regular, it'll be $4 trillion, almost 4 trillion. So that's just very difficult. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. So some more hype that's coming in for SHIB, a lot of whales. So this bar represents the amount of people buying at least 1 billion coins. So it's a large amount of people buying $1 million in coins. Michael Berry weighed in on SHIB, and this is how, when you're watching this as a spectator, I'm watching this as a fan, I feel like it's going down that same path as Doge. Doge eventually made it to mainstream media. SHIB is going down the same path. They're getting on. There was an article on Bloomberg. Different news channels are starting to speak on SHIB, and even Michael Berry weighs in where he's talking about how it's pointless because of the supply. So this is what we discussed. He's saying that the supply, the quadrillion tokens, it's impossible for it to keep going up and up and up. But he was quoted as saying that just saying 1 quadrillion, he said 1 quadrillion. So I don't think he did a deep research because he would have known that this number was cut in half and it's actually 394 trillion, which is still a lot. So let's look at the chart here on sentiment. You see here, it's getting a lot closer. It's not dying out. It looks like it's, it made a big run here, then sold off, but got bought up quite a bit, which is a bullish sign. And you see here, it's kind of forming like this mid-candle breakout type formation. And it looks like it's running a bull flag here. If you kind of see the flag here. So it's still got potential to break the past highs. If we look at the volume, there's a lot more volume now than the previous spike. And social media, there was a lot more social media presence back then, but it's still bullish. Now, this is a number that a lot of people look at. If we look at the amount, what they call whales, that spent at least $1 million in SHIB coin, On May, they had over 135 whales that spent $1 million or more on ShibCoin. Now, when I see these, I have one small concern. You have a lot of people that bought $1 million worth of ShibCoin or more up here, and then it died out. The stock fell drastically after that. Not too long after, a lot of people sold and took their profits. So my concern is the people here at the top that were in the reds for so long, when it gets back up and they're green or they're break even, are they going to sell off or are they going to hold through? That's always something you have to keep in the back of your mind. So let's close it off with some technical analysis. You see here, we did the Fibonacci retracement, starting off from when it spiked to the high here. It retraced and fell back close to 61%, but it got bought out. So when it bounced here and it started getting bought out here, this was previous support. So this has been strong support here, this 000402074. If this breaks, then I would say the run is over. But this has been strong support past here, bounced again. And on the third time it bounced, and there was a lot more confidence that it wasn't going to start retracing all the way back down here. So it got bought up again, spiked, and here it kind of looked like it was forming a breakout pattern. It kind of like bouncing off of this, tap this, and it was a false breakout. Technical analysis wise, it seemed like it was going to break out of this pattern here. You see it was closing in and it was going to break out, but it kind of got sold off. It's still holding its gains. You see here, it's making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So it's still making higher lows. So from a technical analysis aspect, it's still very strong and it's still bullish. But there's got to be a sell-off. So there's eventually going to be a strong sell-off. And I would expect it to consolidate for a little bit more. But if there's any other catalyst, you know, it can go crazy. So the SHIB army is on Twitter every day. They're calling for Robinhood. They've started a petition. They've also started asking PayPal to accept SHIB. So this coin, the hype is not dying out. And this is exactly what happened with Doge. Doge started off as a joke. It died out. There was no hype. Then it started to gain traction. It started to gain hype. It was backed by Elon, backed by Tesla. It seemed like it was a strong coin fundamentally. Mainstream media started paying attention to it. And it got hype and it went as high as almost 70 cents. And that was that it was trading 3 zeros below penny. So that makes a lot of people rich. So why is there such an attraction for these types of coins when they don't seem like a surefire investment, like you're investing in Microsoft or Tesla or Walmart or CVS or just a strong blue chip company? It's because the dream of turning $1,000 into $1 million. If you purchase ShibCoin right now, let's say you purchase $1,000 worth of ShibCoin and it gets to Doge price or Doge initials price of 3 zeros and a 1, well, you've made $10,000. If it gets to the 3 zeros and a 5, well, you've made $50,000. If it gets to 2 zeros and a 1, you've made $100,000. If it gets to 2 zeros and a 5, you've made $500,000. If it gets to a penny, you've made $1 million from that 1,000. So that's the dream that everybody's holding on to. They all want to make that $1 million. They want to become millionaires. I'm sure a lot of people have purchased 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000. So the math, the possibility of making millions off this coin, after seeing Doge was able to do it, it's enticing for a lot of people. The one major disadvantage that ShibCoin has compared to Doge, there's a large amount of coins circulating. So it's very, very, very difficult to get to that penny. But we'll see. Maybe with Robinhood, maybe with more coins burning, it's possible that SHIB gets to a penny. I'm just a fan, just watching. And thank you for watching my video. If you stayed on this long, please comment, subscribe, and like, and see you on the next video.